Hi, I'm Shivam,
Hi, I'm Izzy,
and this is PhoenixChat.
where one of us can read.
Which one?
You
Find out. Hi, and welcome back to PhoenixChat. Today we're going to be talking a little bit with Nemo today. Nemo, if you want to sound off.
Hello, I'm Nemo.
Yeah.
Hi, Nemo.
So Nemo plays Morgan in the Phoenix Heart campaign, and similar to the Boondock Retrospective, we were just going to kind of talk about the hows and whats of making your character, as well as I think possibly the most interesting part about Morgan is that you set up this character with like a set of characteristics, and you found a really interesting story just through the role play and through like interacting with the party. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but I think the first thing I want to talk to you about is how'd you come up with the idea for Morgan?
I kind of just wanted to play a halfling, and that was about it. Okay, like I wanted a very tiny character was also super buff and looked tough.
Hell yeah.
Did you want to do like a halfling because of like a certain thing like Lord of the Rings, or because of the lucky feet? Because the lucky feet I feel like has saved our ass so many times.
I just wanted to be small.
That's fair.
I suppose then, why? Because you gave me like some details that Morgan has a very engineering-based background, for example. Why those details in the backstory?
I don't remember a lot of it, but I think I just wanted Morgan to fit in with the setting of like a kind of steampunk world, and to make sense for him to live in it and just be there. Yeah.
How about the class then, Gunslinger? It's pretty interesting. I personally feel. Any reason you specifically chose Gunslinger besides like the steampunk vibe, or?
Okay, so guns are fun.
Yes. As Americans here, we can testify.
Is it Nemo from Brazil? As Americans.
Technically American, just South one. No, but that was also part of fitting in the campaign. I was like, I need a character in a class that wouldn't clash too much with the world. So I've been looking at the Gunslinger before because it seemed cool because of Percy from Critical Role. The parts that I watched with him, and when you said it was a steampunk campaign, I just that can work, and I asked if I could play a Gunslinger, and you said yes, and that worked for me, not for you. I'm
How do you feel about single-handedly destroying all of Shivam's like monsters in one shot?
I legit feel great.
As you should.
I tried to get a bit of remorse in there, but I can't.
No,
you can't. Oh, Christ.
I'm capable too.
But the next point I definitely wanted to kind of touch on though was you set up this character very much like kind of based around the setting, which by the way, I really appreciated that like you decided to take all the features of the campaign setting and you decided to really like integrate it into your character with like the steampunk vibe and the gunslinger class. It all really kind of fit into the world very nicely, especially with you deciding that you wanted to play in the Ibis Cogniocious Guild, which is all about like machines and learning and technology. What I also really enjoyed was you had a tiny little thing in there of a plot hook that was very interesting. There was a sci-fi twist in there. You basically left very open-ended. Do you want to actually explain that sci-fi twist you kind of put in the backstory, if you remember?
Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, I kind of put that Morgan's dad was like a kind of crazy scientist that was shut in or something. And by the end of the backstory, he does something and just completely disappears. And was that it?
Yeah, that was what I was getting at.
Yeah. So completely disappears. And I said, I thought it would be fun to help a little bit with just so you could have a thing to do with the character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I definitely think it's a note that more players should do, of having those like mysteries in the backstory that you just hand over to the DM. Mm-hmm. Those are always the best as a DM, because I will always find ways to answer those questions that you have. And I feel like it works the best to really integrate your character into the world and gives you a very interesting roleplay space, because you, Nemo, don't, and you're figuring out what the mystery is too. As you try to figure out the same thing that Morgan is, it's very easy for you to play in that space, I think, right?
Yeah, it helps. I don't know how I would act if I did know what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Yeah, I when I play characters, I just kind of want to vibe with the world, like just insert myself there and live.
Yeah, I think it's also a very good point to mention that you started off with just a set of characteristics and a very just open-ended backstory, and the joke of the campaign is that Morgan's the main character and he's just trying to find his own way.
No, this is not a joke. This is real. Morgan is the protagonist out of all of us.
No.
Yes.
Morgan's just finding his own story in that way.
We're just the comedic relief background characters for Morgan.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. I did really enjoy that sort of space, because I feel it's very different from a lot of like players' perspectives of, I want certain things to happen to my character, here's some rough sort of guidelines. Instead, you're just kind of taking it all as you go, and I'm just offering up ideas, and you're just kind of like latching on to like the ones that you'd like. So, for example, the backstory, I've given you some hints of the backstory of like there's a sci-fi twist, maybe your dad isn't the greatest person, and we started like hooking into that. Or we go into Babe Quest, for example. That was also a really good one.
Babe Quest.
Yeah, we had that little bit of character growth with Tansy there, where Juliet's helping Morgan open up a little bit and try to, ask this person on a date, which I thought was extremely cute and extremely good character growth moment. So I suppose, how do you kind of roll with those punches to make sure that you can just take something I throw at you and just play it in the moment?
Like, I like to think the characters are like just a tiny part of the world, and since they're a tiny part of the world, they don't control their lives very much, so if you throw anything at them, they'll just have to deal with it. There's no other way.
Yeah, no. I did really like that, and I think also a little bit too. You always fill out your character traits, your personalities, bonds, flaws, ideals, and stuff like that. And I feel like that also, when you make every sort of Morgan decision in the moment, I feel like if I looked at your character traits, I could easily trace back almost every decision to, like, this specific trait or that specific trait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think might really help you, like, roleplay in that space. But moving on from the character to more of the arc, so I guess both of you as players who were just kind of tossed into this arc with no warning, I basically gave you kind of a heads up of things might get dark after a point, but I guess both of you, how dark were you expecting it to get? How wild were you expecting this to...
Oh, I was thinking, like, methodical torture. I wasn't thinking death. I'm like, oh, that's easy, okay. I was thinking, like, you would methodically torture each and every one of our characters to, like, the point of, like, breaking. But that's also because I'm an evil GM and do that shit, so, you know.
I kind of just blank it out of my mind. He's just saying it. We'll be fine.
I don't like to think back about it. Yeah, just on, like, the last fucking session we were in. Oh, yeah, we got this. We almost all fucking died in one hit.
Yeah, I'm following through with my threats here again.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Been very close to that recently.
I was definitely extremely nervous, though, for this arc because, it was getting extremely dark, and I was definitely extremely scared for how dark it could possibly get. And I think the main thing would just be how much of this is pushing Morgan towards, you know, a big decision where Morgan now needs to be in charge, and how much of it's too far where I've just suddenly gone and I'm actually just, like, messing with my players' heads and just, like, everything's shitty and bad and I'm just making everyone, like, out of game feel bad. So, I guess, how do you feel about towing the line between Morgan is now making decisions and you guys as players are feeling bad?
I never once thought you meant it the last one that you said. I was just like, oh shit, Morgan, step the fuck up. Because, like, Morgan's dynamic in the party, like, yes, he's super fucking strong and, like, very good morals and a good head on his shoulders and everything, but he also just kind of goes along with whatever we want to do. So he's normally just kind of chilling in the back. But now with this this arc, he had to step up and he had to make decisions for everybody, and for Hops especially. So I thought it was a really nice, like, you know, spotlight moment for Morgan. As shitty as the situation might have been, but, you know, still, I don't know, I liked it.
No, it was fun. Only the first few deaths, just shock. Yeah. I was like, oh,
I think that was everybody.
Because
everyone's dead.
Once that many player characters, you just, oh, can we even continue the campaign with after that?
Oh gosh.
And then I legit got scared. I said, oh no, he's ditching us.
Oh man.
So, how many people do you think was gonna die? I feel like we all kind of knew that Juliet was probably gonna die because of how fucking stupid and squishy she was.
I kind of expected Juliet to die, and we would have to go like, we have to revive Juliet and stuff. But I didn't expect everyone else to follow.
Yeah,
because
gosh.
That's too many deaths to revive. Normally. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I got scared.
Going into it, I was fully expecting, so Boondock was 100% a confirmed kill. When I started the arc, no matter what would happen, Boondock was going to be the person who was going to be killed because I needed some kind of reason to 100% say for a fact that no matter what, you guys need to go back in time and prevent this. What I didn't expect was Juliet, I thought, would get close, I didn't realize that after you would go, then Essen would just very quickly follow afterwards, and like, heck, there was some like mild fudging of some numbers right at the end there, where I had the cutscene play of like Essen turning into the Karen. Oh gosh, yeah, no, if I had let that fight play out even more and not given the cutscene, I think there's a very real chance, because Boondock's turn was like up next by the time 3 people went down, that Morgan and Hops could have easily just like also gone down too, and it would have been real bad.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was also really shocked that Essen followed so fast. I was like, oh fuck, oh god, okay,
Yeah.
damn.
Oh,
I had
gosh.
2 health. If we had another round, I would go down.
Yeah. It was wild too, because
complete
like it was literally the
TPK.
perfect storm of the worst possible rolls. Yeah, like Boondock on Fireballs was rolling like stupidly above average. When you guys were rolling dex saves, everyone rolled natural ones. I think, didn't Morgan at one point like roll a natural 1, then re-roll it into like a 2 or something?
Yeah. That
Oh
happened.
my god. And of course,
Yeah,
Legion
something stupid.
decides that she's the only person who gets the nat 20 on the dex save. So you couldn't even take her down with the fireball
Yeah.
too. Oh gosh. It was just the perfect storm of everything going so wrong for you guys. Very big ouchies.
Rough.
It was a big
But,
ouchie.
Yeah, going back to the point of making sure this arc wasn't too dark, the other thing I wanted to make sure of was I wanted to give you a space to really like have a big scene where you're fully leading it, because I kind of felt like you make decisions, but it's very much in the background occasionally, and it's very easy to overlook. But you're definitely very much role-playing, but it's just like a very quiet sort of thing. And I think that's what it is. Like, you're very good at role-playing a quiet character. But what I really wanted was to give you some sort of spotlight there to really just get to have that big scene on your own. So how'd you feel going into that? Because I think I also tried to warn you too, like, hey, you're gonna have a big spotlight sort of scene. How are you feeling about that?
Just anxious as fuck. Wait, can we swear?
It's too late now, Nemo. This is now.
Oh no. But yeah, it was just anxiety all the way. As I was tremendously scared, because it was me and Hops player, and we had to protect Hops, but we also had to find out what to do with the city.
Yep.
In those 2 seconds, I was like, "Oh fuck, well, yeah, no, you save Hops, fuck the city." And
yeah, no.
then the dad showed up, and everything got better.
Period.
And by the way, I adored role-playing
Surprisingly.
that scene, because that felt so tense and like raw. Yeah, it was so like rough
Yeah.
and shitty to have to play that like very morally gray to like objectionally or like a objectively bad character. And especially that last like sort of hit of you're the only person who can go back. Oh man.
Yeah, that fucked me up. I thought, oh no, Hops.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so I guess, how did you feel about that sort of scene, about like the big confrontation with your father again? Because that was a really big scene, I think, and it really showed like your role playing chops.
I was kind of on autopilot because I didn't know. I was just anxious as fuck, but I do remember I didn't want to trust him at first. Because he just showed up and he's trying to solve everything automatically, and I was like, oh, that guy's fishy.
Mm.
And then it was just Morgan being a little an Angus child, talking back to his father all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, again, just the one that really shook me the most was the "Are you my father?" as you pull out the gun, just, wow, chef's kiss. Oh, man. But at least after we brought you back then, we got to at least, have the moment of you getting to talk to the party again and solve everything again. I don't know. I definitely saw there was a good bit of Morgan changed from that moment where Morgan needed to kind of step up. Did you also kind of feel like there was definitely a big, like, sort of shift after, like, going back in time, the eye, everything?
Yeah, I feel like Morgan is a little less passive because he knows what happens when he's too passive.
Mm-hmm.
And before he was like, no, that they're experienced adventures, they know what's going on, so I'll just sit back and shoot things. Now he knows they are stupid and they can.
Morgan's the only competent member on this team.
That's fair. Well, I mean, Hops was the same way. She's like, you guys can't promise me that it'll be safe anymore because I just fucking watched all of you die. Like, y'all are idiots. And we're all like,
ah! Both of their characters, Hops and Morgan, they're just, oh no, they don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, I do want to mention with the Boondock retrospective, we also kind of did a little bit of a what does Boondock think about all the other party members? I definitely want to hear, so if you can remember at that point in time, at the end of the arc, when you were finally making your way out of Soliana, do you kind of want to, I can just call out party members if you just want to give like a brief sort of blurb on like what Morgan thought of each of them?
Yeah.
Alright, tell us one first. Let's go Boondock.
Boondock was like always like Morgan always seeing him like a big brother, even though he's younger than him.
Yeah.
It's just like aloof and cool, and Morgan just, oh hell yeah, that dude's dope. Yeah.
That guy's straight vibing.
Essen?
I was about to argue that I was taller than Essen, and then I was like, wait, no, I'm not.
After Essen, we talk about Hops. No, Essen, I think at this point Morgan hadn't interacted a lot with Essen. At this point Morgan hadn't interacted a lot with Essen because, I don't know, they didn't have the chance to think. But he's like, Morgan thought he was the smart one.
Thought. It turns out Essen's a himbo.
I think we all thought Essen was a smart one. Oopsies.
Alright. And remember, anything you say Izzy cannot hold against you, Juliet. You're totally fine to just rip Juliet up here, totally here, right now. Just everything you hate about her.
Yeah, no, never really liked Juliet. That she's nah. Yeah.
Alright, go.
No, just
got him. Boom.
For real, Morgan and Juliet's like best bros. They go around and fuck shit up.
Orc
bros
bros.
for life.
Yeah.
We even have fucking matching tattoo sleeves, okay?
And I think what probably is the most, like, interesting friendship between Morgan is Morgan and Hops.
Oh, yeah. Hops is like a sister to Morgan because, like, they're both kind of treated like child at the beginning. And they go like, oh, yeah, the grown-ups are dumb and they don't know what's going on. Both of them just, yeah. They're very good friends.
Yeah, no, I did really enjoy that, like, friendship that you two have. And what I really did enjoy it was, like, yeah, no, the grown-ups are dumb talk was extremely choice. as well as the moments too of Hops occasionally just isn't listened to like by the adults, but Morgan always takes Hops' word at face value. A moment that I really liked was I think Hops at one point wanted to hide from like some like large creature, and the rest of the party needed to like probably fight it off. And Morgan, immediately hearing the words hide, also ran to the same place Hops was hiding. Oh man.
Gotta listen to people. They survived up until now. There's a reason why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's a super interesting trait that, like, yeah, you two are kind of banded up against the rest of the adults there. Oh, man. Mm.
Okay, I have a question for both Shiva and I to answer. Our favorite Morgan moment.
Babe Quest is really good. Especially the start of that, where Hops yelled out to Morgan, show her your train whistle, and all of us started saying no to Hops' player. Like, that's an innuendo, you can't say that. And then I said, okay, Morgan, what are you doing? And you just looked me dead in the eye, waited for a second, then said, Morgan just heard his train whistle. Mm-hmm. You have
I will
the
say
most
that was choice
perfect
as fuck.
comedic timing with scenes like those. Oh, Christ. Izzy ears?
So I think my favorite Morgan moment
Yeah.
was when we were fighting Legion. And Morgan found the spirit tether things that were coming out of Legion, and he said, I wasn't done yet, you fucking fuck. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Legion was being rude, just fucking ignoring me out of nowhere. That's no.
Fucking rude.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so choice, because like, for the most part, yeah, Morgan's strong and shit, but like, I've never heard him say cool lines or anything, like, you know, because we all just kind of say some random shit that's on our minds while we're fighting. And like, Morgan says some really funny shit at the perfect timing, but I've never heard him say like anything like, you know, like a catchphrase or whatever. Like, you know, Juliet just flips people off and says, fuck you. Boondock always says some fucking like cowboy, you've yeed your last hoss thing.
Yep.
You know?
Your last
So when Morgan said that, I was like, yes.
And I think it was just
yes,
a big culmination
finally.
of the arc that I really liked. Was actually very solidified in that moment too, because what I really wanted to do with like the partial TPK was, it's now extremely personal to you guys. It now matters a lot to you guys, like, as you face Legion, and now you need to be extremely careful and know that, like, she's a very potent threat, and we need to stop her, not just for, like, the rest of, like, the city and the world, but also just for us here. And that was definitely the moment where, like, Morgan just showed, like, just how much he's, like, been through in, like, the past, like, what was it, like, 24 hours? Yeah, no, just it was just that perfect culmination of like rage. It's the trope of when an anime character just goes like fucking berserk. That yeah, it was that trope, and that I
Super
fucking
Saiyan
loved so
Morgan.
much. Yeah.
This is why Morgan's the protagonist. Because now he has a one white eye, so like
we
that
even
makes him
designed that
more
after
of a
Guts, didn't
protagonist.
we?
Like,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah.
Oh, man. One of these days we'll get Morgan a huge gun sword and really just complete the anime look.
What do you mean? He has a super soaker.
Another question I definitely wanted to ask you about was Tansy, because Tansy's definitely was a very fun character to just like make up in the moment and then just integrate into the arc of going from I have no idea what to do with this character to this character now has an extremely important reason to be here, and that whole backstory with the mass. Yeah, so I guess how do you feel about like Tansy and just like playing in that space.
Dude, I legit thought you planned Tansy for like 2 months in advance. Yeah, she just had the mask and oh, that makes sense. That's good pre-planning. She was a good DM.
I got lucky. I got so fucking lucky. Yeah, no, because Izzy just said, like, let's go on a babe quest, and I didn't have anything prepared, and so I just picked a little random stat block, and then just, like, name, Tansy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How hot is she on a scale of 1 to 20?
God,
Pretty
D20
fucking hot.
Yeah. What would you guys have done if I had just, like, roll like a D20 and it was just, like, a fucking, like, 3 or some shit?
Nah,
Her
we would ignore
personality
her.
was hot. Yeah, you're right.
We're
Babe
very
Quest
shallow.
was a babe quest for a reason.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god. You know, it's those hooks I love, where it's like, here's just a random, like, NPC and stuff like that, and, like, how can I kind of work this into the plot some more? And so, like, yeah, I was just working with, like, the ideas of, like, what could she, like, be in order to make this interesting and play off of Morgan? She's a blacksmith and, like, does that whole thing. And so I'm like, okay, that's a good sort of, like, add in there for them to talk about, but then, like, maybe, like, I was adding, like, some sort of, like, plot hook, some sort of, like, big thing that could happen. And then, like, once you guys really started being, like, extremely suspect of the masks, I realized, like, wait, what if there was a reason the masks were there and extremely suspicious that wasn't Legion?
Got us another time, Shivam.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm glad that arc ended up just, like, resolving itself so perfectly, because I feel like I did not do a lot for that arc, and you guys just gave me a lot, and I just, like, was able to wrap up a whole lot and tie a whole lot of things in, which, realistically, that's just all DMing is just listening to the solutions your players give you, and when they're better than your own, you say, yeah, okay, let's go with that instead. And that's always been canon. You guys can't prove anything different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
Izzy, did you have any sort of questions you wanted to ask about Morgan?
Yeah, so in general, what goals does Morgan have? I mean, obviously saving the world is kind of a priority, like, at the moment, but, like, after that, like, did he have any goals to go adventure or, like, join the guild, or, like, did he want to improve himself? Did he want to find his dad? Like,
initially, Morgan
what
just
does Morgan
wanted
want to do?
to make a big gun. I think that was it, right? Morgan just wanted to make. I want to make a gun. That's good, and that's why he was eating, like, a bunch of random shit in the beginning of the campaign. It was like, oh, I'm in a rut. I can't think of anything, so I'm gonna just try. But then, as the campaign went on, Morgan's goal went from making big guns to just fucking retire and go to a nice house.
Yeah.
That's fair, you know.
Cross swords all Sundays.
Yeah, no. Morgan's definitely gone from, like, innocent, cheerful lad to, like, solid snake over the course of this adventure. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
There's another girl that I won't say because it's spoilers. Yeah.
I wanna
me.
know. Read.
And then maybe the last thing we might end up talking about is thoughts on Morgan's father. Just kind of, how about we go, like, before the campaign started, where do you think that plot hook would lead? First session, when I finally, like, dropped a detail of, like, the father's maybe not the greatest person, and then, like, after this arc, thoughts on Morgan's father.
Yeah. Okay, so before the campaign, his dad wasn't the best in person already, because basically just used Morgan for cheap labor and didn't let him have a life of his own until he disappeared. and after, he's just completely fucked. He's just an evil dude. Don't like him.
Yep.
I think he does care for Morgan, but it's still, that's still a shit.
Yeah, it's a bare minimum level of caring in just a very weird, twisted way. But I guess though, what were you kind of thinking before the campaign as Nemo? Like, where did you think that like plot hook might go? If you had any sort of like inklings of ideas.
I thought it was we will like do something like dark deals with the Eldritch or something, or just a portal gun or something.
Ooh, a portal gun.
Yeah. I think my original idea was
sick,
like something
man.
something shifted to another plane, something something. Oh man, but I knew I had to have a sci-fi twist, so like time travel was eventually the thing I zeroed in on. Oh man, and again, I'm glad the time travel plot worked as well as it did, because it had so much room for like error and nonsense there. Oh man, and yeah, I even told you about like my original plan too, was like a Majora's Mask kind of deal where you guys keep getting just like a reset to like the town keeps like exploding, and like you guys basically just keep getting reset to the point you enter the town, and you basically need to figure out like ways you need to like stop it. And I might have even had like a thing of like, as you kind of go back in time with more loops, you could maybe even meet like doppelgangers like of yourself like in previous
Jesus.
loops, and like mess with the time flow. Oh man.
And
Dude,
confuse
if you
everyone.
pull that off, that would be cool.
Yeah. It would have been sick, but it was one of those things where, like, I would just need to desperately write down every single plot point you guys have done to make sure that, like, there's not one tiny little detail out of place.
You know, that's extremely hard task. Like, the game
Yeah.
normally already is, and then you add big travel events, and you just fuck yourself.
Alright, yeah, Izzy, do you have any more questions then? Yeah.
No, I think we got everything.
Yeah, Nemo, do you have any sort of, like, closing thoughts about just, like, Morgan, the campaign, how everything's kind of been going so far?
I like the campaign, it's fun. Yeah, Morgan just needed to make friends, and he did. And that's the goal. And yeah.
That you know of. Don't get
Yeah.
up.
They're enemies.
Juliet's a traitor.
No!
Always has been.
No, Orc Bros for life!
That would be
Oh
so
man.
worse.
I would cry.
But yeah, where can people find you on like on Instagram and other social medias?
Oh, at Guidance Frog in almost everything.
Yeah, great. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, Nemo, and thank you to all of you out there listening. Yeah, we are, and a special shout out to our Patreon members, the Modgoth, Spicy Turntable, and Nyquil Dreamer. You guys help us make more and better content for you guys. Izzy, you want to plug our Twitch?
So, yeah, starting on Wednesday, we are going to start up our Luna Nights campaign again. You can see that on Twitch. It's going to be, the name is going to change to Horror and Harpy, so that way it's easier for everybody to find it. I'm not sure of a time yet, but it's there. It'll be there.
Yeah. And then on our Instagram, we also have a Draw This In Your Style open with our new Horror and Harpy characters to celebrate the rebrand of everything.
Yay!
So, yeah, check that out if you guys want to. But unless you guys have anything else, then. Alright, Iz, you got a fun fact to lead us out with?
Yeah, so Hops doesn't clean trash, but she organizes it by mouthfeel. She must nom each piece of trash before knowing where it must be stored at. PhoenixChat. Yay!
Oh,